Hello, Michael. I'm sorry you can't see me, but I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, certainly can.
How much are you looking forward to this game against a Wolves side we've already seen in their first Premier League game of the season? They've got so much attacking talent and they've still got a record signing in a centre forward to come, potentially didn't play in the first game.
Yeah, I think it's a great game for us, to be honest. I think um, in the cup, I think it gives us an opportunity to raise our game, to test ourselves against a very, very good Premier League side, a side that's continued to improve year on year, continues to bring exciting players into the Premier League. So for us, it's a great challenge. It's a game where the expectation lies with the home side, but as I say, we've played well in pre-season against the Premier League teams, Newcastle and Leeds, that we both played, and so we look forward to the challenge of Wolves.
And obviously at this stage, you've got these games. If you win, you play again next midweek. I mean, it's all coming in a flurry at the minute, isn't it? I mean, how are you coping with that so far?
Yeah, I think we look at the cup competition as first of all, I think you have to have the ambition to try and stay in the competition as long as you can. You have to, but use it sensibly, because our priority is the league, and we have to be mindful of the players had a very short off season. They had were back in pre-season very quickly, and it gives us the opportunity to potentially use the games to get really good quality competitive minutes into players as well. But equally, we want to pick a team that we believe can try and obviously make life difficult for Wolves, and obviously aspire to win the game.
And just finally from me, obviously we had the news this lunchtime that some Football League matches are going to have fans back this weekend, only 1,000, but it's a start. How pleased are you that we're moving towards getting supporters back at games?
Yeah, it's a big step. It may not seem like it, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. And what we've had to play through, obviously, to finish last season, the environment we're working in now in the training facility, and have been working in the training facility for the last almost 6 months now, is very challenging. So, and I think for the players, it's always better, obviously, when the supporters are in the ground. I think towards the end of last season, the games we played in had a lot at stake. We were obviously playing for our own survival in the championship. And I suppose when you come to the start of a new season, excitement, there's a lot of anticipation, expectation among your own supporters, and that all adds to the atmosphere within a game. So not having supporters in the games at this part of the season, I think, is extra challenging, I think, for the players, as opposed to what we did last season when we finished. But we have to make sure that the intensity in our play is there. But certainly, getting some sort of fans back into the ground can only be a positive thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Michael. Mark here from ITV Central. Hope you're well.
I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Great. You've had a bit of time to stamp your authority and influence on the club. I'm just wondering, how important is the EFL Cup to yourselves and the club this year?
Well, I'm not sure we would judge what I've tried to do at the club by the EFL Cup. The EFL Cup's another competition for us. As I said previously, we would like to go as far in the competition as we can. But we've had 2 difficult seasons in the Championship, and we want to be at the other end of the league table. Simple as that. So that's our priority. We have a squad big enough to deal with the situation that we're in. And that's what we'll do. There will be opportunities for 1 or 2 players who have to come in and stake a claim for a game on Saturday, or to play in a league game rather on Sunday. So yeah, we the process that this club has to go through from coming out of the Premier League 2 years ago, there's still a lot of work to be done on that. But as I say, we look at the EFL Cup as an opportunity to utilise the squad and to, as I say, hopefully progress.
It's a slightly different competition in that the winner, I believe, goes through to the 3rd tier of a UEFA competition next season rather than the Europa League. Bearing in mind Wolves' own desires for Champions League football, or at the very least Europa League football, could that almost serve as an advantage for Championship clubs, in that Premier League sides may not be as keen to progress in this competition, perhaps knowing that they would rather be in the Europa League perhaps than a third-tier UEFA competition?
It's probably a question that Nuno will be able to answer better than me, to be honest. So I can't really control how the opposition will approach the game. Yeah, they may look at it like that. But I also think that Premier League squads are big enough to cope with competitions like this. To first of all progress and to try and win the competition. It's very, very difficult to win the Premier League. So that leaves you two cup competitions rather. The outcome of that, obviously, in terms of a third-tier European competition, is possibly not what they want, but it will give them opportunities to possibly blood players and give European experience to players. But as I say, those kind of things are pretty far from my mind at this minute in time.
Great. Just the final one from me. Obviously, you're away at Millwall at the weekend, and you've got a very good Premier League side in Wolves that you're playing. How does your approach differ, not just between the two competitions, but the two sides, and knowing that the difference in quality that they both have? How does your approach change during the week?
Well, we know that Wolves are a quality team. We saw that firsthand against Sheffield United. What will happen in the game will be determined by our own quality as well and what we show on the night. We have to be mindful of the quality of the opposition, how we play the game. But it's a game that, as I say, I don't think we've anything to lose by having a positive attitude and by trying to win the game. Obviously, it's 90 minutes with no extra time. So we'll take an approach to go and try and win the game. Simple as that. If that means, I'm sure there'll be times in the game where the quality of Wolves alone will push us back and we'll have to defend. That won't necessarily mean that we come with a defensive approach, but sometimes that's not within your control because the opposition's quality determines that. But as I say, we'll pick a team that'll give opportunities to some players, but also a team that we believe can go and get a result.
Great. Thanks, Michael. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Angela, do you want to go next?
Yes. Thanks for joining us, Michael. You've got Danny Bart and Stephen Fletcher, who could both make a return to one of their former clubs. Do you think that makes much of a difference to players when they're preparing for games?
Possibly, but it won't make any difference to me in terms of whether I select them or not for the game. Going back and playing at Molineux for those two players, I'm sure would be nice, but in an empty stadium, I'm not sure it would have the same ring to it. I'm sure they've possibly been back there in the past with other clubs as well. So look, it's I think when you go back to a previous club, you always want to play well. You see a lot of faces, particularly in Danny's case, where that's where he grew up, and that was a big portion of his career. But as I say, we'll pick a team based on obviously the players who played Saturday and looking forward to Sunday. But as I've said before, a team that we believe can go and win the game.
Saturday gave you a solid basis on which to build, and I'm not sure if you know, I'm pretty sure you probably do, that we're the third highest scorers in your time. With Wolves being an aggressive team, it has all the makings of a non-draw and penalties, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, I mean, we expect to be, we'll be challenged defensively. There's no doubt about that. The shape of the team will be challenged as well. Wolves have a very consistent system in which they play. Whether they play 3-4-3 or sometimes it's tweaked a little bit and it's a 3-5-2. And they test you, not only because they're very disciplined in terms of the system that they play, but they test you because they've got good players in every area of the pitch. The likes of João Moutinho have faced at international level. He's, a top class player, and has shown that on the biggest stage. Those are just examples. Some of the players they brought in, particularly from Portugal, are top players. So that's a great challenge for our players to deal with it. If it's 0-0 and it goes to penalties, we'll be delighted with that. But something tells me that may not be the case.
And last one from me. Whilst you have a big squad, and we know it's too big, it gives you a chance to give more players minutes in the legs, as you said. But do we have any injury problems after last weekend?
Other than Joe and Ryan Shawcross played in the 23s on Monday, so he's a little bit tightness, so we'll probably not risk Ryan. He needs more games at that level in terms of his return to football. So other than that, Joe and Thibaut Verlinden, everyone else is fine.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Andrew.
Do we go Dave, then Tamsin, then Pete?
Okay, I've just got one question, and I was going to say, does knowing who you're playing in the next round act as a distraction or a motivation to yourself and the players?
No, I don't think it does really. Either way, you know, when you're playing opposition from a higher league, it presents an opportunity to cause an upset. It presents an opportunity for the players to show that they're capable of playing at this level. We have a number of players in our squad who have, you know, played in the Premier League. Some of them for the majority of their career as well. So that's what this game presents more than anything else. Who we play in the next round is not that relevant in terms of where the players' heads are, to be honest.